All right, welcome everyone back to another episode of ngWeber. Hopefully everyone has been doing well since we last met. It's been a little bit over a month. Things got a little bit crazy for me, so it took a little bit longer than I had planned to do another episode and meet together again. So hopefully everyone's doing all right. Um, Today we're going to talk about the Jamstack and Netlify. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can set up a website and a blog on Netlify using a Jamstack approach. It could be a static site generator or a single page application or whatever it may be. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is very similar to a presentation that I gave at NGconf 2019 a couple weeks ago. The Technical Writers Summit, which was on Thursday night at the conference. So if you were there, this will look very familiar. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Preston Lamb. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at plambweb and on GitHub at pjlc.dev. I forgot to change that URL, but we'll have another URL at the end where you can find these slides. All right, before I get started, I just wanted to talk a little bit about NGconf 2019. First of all, I definitely recommend everyone to go watch the talks on YouTube. They have a live stream for each of at least the first day and the third day, where all the talks are together as if you were there. And then they have all the talks also broken out into just their presentation. There was so much good information there, especially the two keynotes. But definitely go look at that. Some of the things that I was most excited about was that Angular 8 is coming soon. It's in its release candidate, should be full-featured release here pretty soon for Angular 8. I'm excited about differential loading being on by default. So that was great. I also was able to go and meet with NG community members, which is just a group of other organizers for meetups throughout the world. Really, there was lots of people there, so it was great to be able to talk with them a little bit and get a few ideas about how we can make ngWeber even great. And I met a lot of great people. I tried to be a little bit more outgoing than I have been at previous NGconfs, and I had a lot of fun. So if you were there, hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. If you couldn't be there, then like I said, go back and watch on YouTube. It was great. The speakers did great. The organizers did great. So it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to that every year. But let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I wanted to cover a little bit about what the Jamstack is. If you haven't heard about it, I guess it's been around technically for a long time, but it seems like I've been hearing about it a lot more in the past year or so, that people talk about building their website with the Jamstack. And so some of the things that I think are that people like to use the Jamstack for is that it's pretty easy to manage for the most part. There might be a little bit of JavaScript, but it's mainly HTML and CSS. You have a little bit of JavaScript maybe to make some calls to serverless functions or something like that. That's where the A, which stands for APIs, comes in. The J is JavaScript, M is markup. And it's really flexible to be able to fit your needs. It can be a plain one-page information website, or it can be a full-featured blog or something like that. So it's really great. I like it a lot, and have been using Jekyll specifically. I put here. That's one of a popular one that I see a lot of people talk about. But I see a lot of people talk about that, and it's been really great. I've really enjoyed using that. Jekyll, as I mentioned, is a great option for your Jamstack site. It's pretty quick and easy to get up and going, and it allows you to define a layout like your base HTML page, and then you don't have to rewrite like the body tag and the HTML tag and the headers and all that on every single page. And you can use includes tags in the Jekyll markup so that you can define, for example, the navigation and then just include it where you need it, and you don't have to rewrite that code on every single page. But it's they describe it on their website as a simple blog-aware static site. And so it's great, especially for blogging. I use it, and they have lots of plugins, and the community seems to be really strong around it. I've been using it on my personal site, which I started on GitHub Pages since about 2013. And like I said, I was on GitHub Pages for a long time. About a year ago or so, I moved over to Netlify, and I've loved it. It's been a great pairing, and we'll talk a little bit more about Netlify here. If you would like to set your site up with Jekyll, I have a few free Bootstrap templates that I found, and I kind of set them up as a Jekyll static site for you. So if you go to this link, if you go to my GitHub page and then search for Jekyll static site, then you'll see that there's a few different branches. Each branch has a different theme, and you can get started there pretty easily. It's pretty nice, but there's a lot of free starters out there that you can use for Jekyll. And there's lots of other static site generators that you can use as well. Gatsby.js is a really popular one. I've heard a lot about Next.js for React as well, and Nuxt, I think, is one for Vue. And so there's lots of them out there, and they all basically do the same thing, and they all work really great with Netlify. So let's talk about a little bit about Netlify and what it is. First of all, one of the great things about it is that it's free for personal projects. I mean, you can't get much better than that. You get you get to deploy your site for free. You get free HTTPS. They use Let's Encrypt if you use a custom domain name, which you can use as well. They have a CMS, they have forms, so people can submit like a contact form on your site. They have what they call it functions. It's serverless functions. And they have lots of other integrations and stuff that you can use. It integrates with GitHub and other source control providers. And so it's really easy to be able to push to your repository, and a build is automatically kicked off, and then it's deployed in just a couple minutes. So it's really great. I encourage you, if you haven't checked out Netlify, to go check it out. It's really great. Their documentation is really good, so it's pretty easy to get up and going and get started. So I mentioned that that you can deploy using your GitHub repository to Netlify. So like I said, it's really pretty simple. When you sign up for Netlify, you can connect your GitHub account, and then you can use private or personal or public repositories, and you can deploy those. So this is the build settings as an example for my personal website on Netlify. So you select which repository you want to deploy from. You can set a base directory if you need. You put in the build command, in my case, Jekyll build, and then you tell it where the published directory is. And for Jekyll, that's _site. And so that's all it takes. Once you do that and you click submit, it'll build your site, and it's live in just a couple minutes. By default, they will assign you like a random ID for your site. So it'd be like randomid.netlify.com, and that's the default one. You can change that to something like, in my case, I could put like pjlc.dev, and that would be free to do that. It's got HTTPS set up on it and everything, so you could do that for free, or you can buy a custom domain through Netlify, or you could buy it through Google Domains or any other domain, anywhere else that you get your domain name. You can buy it there and then set it up. Netlify shows you how to set it up so that you can set up that custom domain. And then with one click, you also can get a Let's Encrypt certificate so that your site is served over HTTPS, and you don't ever have to worry about renewing that certificate. They take care of that for you. So it's really, really cool. Another cool thing about deploying on Netlify is that they have build hooks. And when one of these build hooks is triggered, then it will rebuild your site and redeploy it. So I wanted to be able to schedule posts in the future. And I thought at first that I would just be able to put a date on in the future for my blog post, and that it would just be live on that date in the future. And that's what I was hoping for. And it turned out that that's not how it works. And so I had scheduled my post. I had deployed it and everything like that, and I scheduled a tweet in TweetDeck, and then on the day of, I went to the link thinking that it would be there, and it wasn't there. It wasn't live, so I had to hurry and kick off a deploy. So what I did, I found these build hooks, and it gives you a hook or this URL that you can see here, and then I cut off the kind of unique identifier at the end, but it gives you that. And then I set up a simple little AWS Lambda function that runs every day. And it just, I can't remember now, I should have checked, but it either sends a post or a GET request to this URL, and it kicks off a new build. And that's all it takes to get it going. It's really, really super simple. And then every night I get a new build. And so if I do schedule a post for, let's say Monday, for example, then Monday morning at 1 a.m., build will kick off and it'll be ready. And so I have scheduled deploys. So that's another really cool thing that you can do with Netlify. Another thing that Netlify has is functions. And like I mentioned this before, but these functions that they have are just like AWS Lambda or Google Cloud Functions or Azure Functions. They're just simple little functions that you can write in JavaScript, and then your static site, or even if you have an Angular app or a React app that you deploy on Netlify, they can call those endpoints for your function, and it can do stuff for you. So you could send an email, or use Stripe or Twilio, or any number of other similar tasks that you need to do, but then you don't have to manage a full backend application. So I think that's really cool. It's free to get started. They have their pricing structure here, and these prices are as of today. I pulled them from the site today, but you can see here that you get 125,000 requests per month or 100 hours for free. And so you can get started with their functions. And if you don't have a lot of traffic to your site at first, or even if you have a lot, that's quite a bit on the free level. You can get started, and then if you start leveling up, then you can see 2 million requests or 1,000 hours of runtime per month for just $25. And so it's really pretty nice what they have set up for you. So I'm excited. I have a couple ideas of ways that I will use those functions, and I'm excited to get into that and to try that out. The next thing, and I mentioned this before as well, is that they have forms that you can use. So on my site, I have a contact form, and it's mostly just HTML and CSS, and I just have a few inputs and a text area. And then you add an attribute to the form, and then Netlify kind of takes over that for you and allows people to submit contact forms or whatever else you might need on a form on your website, and you don't have to manage it on the back end. It'll just submit it to you, and you can set it up to email you when a submission is made, or you can just go in and check in your site's settings every now and then, and you'll see the submissions there. And at first, I was a little frustrated because I was getting a whole bunch of fake submissions on my site. And I went back and looked at their documentation, and they have a really easy way to either set up a reCAPTCHA or like a honeypot field. And they, since I did that, it has filtered out basically all of those scam submissions that I get. So I don't get any more of those fake submissions, and that's really nice as well. And it was really easy to get going. Again, this is another one that's free to get started. You only get 100 submissions per month, and the uploads are a little bit smaller. But as you can see, you can integrate with functions through here. And then it's not that much more if you need to do 1,000 submissions a month for $19 a month. That's not too bad. And so it's a great feature as well. If you need people to be able to submit contact forms or submit other information to your site, you can do it right through here. The next part is their CMS. So if you have, for example, a blog and you want to be able to add new posts right through the CMS instead of doing it through source control, you can do that. They have documentation. It's pretty easy to set up. They give you like a JavaScript file and an HTML file to get it set up, and then it's really pretty easy, and you can log in. There's some configuration, which again, they walk you through how to set it up so that you can add posts, and then you can put the different fields that they need to put in, like the title or a hero image or something like that. And then they can type with Markdown, and then you can submit it, and it'll rebuild your website, and that post will be there. And you can also save drafts as well, I believe. And so that's another great option. And you don't have to just do like normal blog posts. You can set up collections in other ways as well, and it will save them like blog posts, but you can now put them in other places on your site. So for example, my wife helps run a volleyball club, and so on their website, they have an announcement section and a team section, and they want to be able to post announcements, and they want to be able to post information about teams and who's on a team and stuff like that. So we set up those two different collections, and then they could come here and they could either add a new team or edit a team's information or add a new announcement and stuff like that, and it would show up on the website. And so her and her partner, they didn't have to worry about editing the source code directly, or they didn't have to email me and tell me, hey, can you update this for me? They could just do it right from the website. So that's really great. That's free and easy to get going as well. So their CMS is another really great feature. The next part is Netlify Identity, and this is used a little bit in conjunction with Netlify CMS, but you can use it in other ways as well, where you can secure parts of your website using Netlify. So you can use social logins or an email password, I believe. You can have invite-only users, and or other people can sign up for your site. There's lots of ways you can use it. And again, it's free to get started. You can see the pricing structure here. On the free level, you get 1,000 active users, 5 invite-only users, and then as you kind of level up, you get more stuff like a custom branded login or custom reply to addresses and logs and some of that stuff. And so the more you need it for, then you can pay a little bit more and get a little bit more functionality out of it. But even at the free level, there's still a lot of ways you could use it and a lot of benefit you can get from that. So overall, Netlify, I've been really, really happy with deploying my site to Netlify, and every now and then I just decide that I want to jump in to see what else I can do with their website, and it's always been a great experience. I still can't believe that it's free. I can't believe how easy it is to use. And so if you want to deploy a website of yours, whether it is a Jekyll blog site or a Gatsby site or an Angular application, definitely check out Netlify and some of that functionality that we saw as we went through these slides. It's a great developer experience. There's a lot of cool integrations that you can do. Their documentation is really clear, and every time I've reached out to somebody on Twitter or something with a question about Netlify, I get people responding either from Netlify or people who have used it. So there's a lot of help out there for it as well. So to finish up, again, my name is Preston Lamb. You can reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram or through GitHub right there. If you want to review these slides, then you can go to pjlc.dev/ngWeber, all one word, /jamstack-netlify. So if you want to see these slides, then go to that link again and you can check it out. And if you have any questions, reach out to me as well. I'd love to hear from you. If you're a developer who would like to get into presenting and public speaking and stuff like that, reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show, and you can present to us something that you've learned or something that's helped you. If you have any other questions about how you can get involved with ngWeber, let me know as well. I'd like to get a few people and get some information from them so that maybe we could do an in-person meetup here pretty soon. But yeah, let me know if you'd like to do that. Reach out to me. Please share this with your friends who may be developers, your coworkers, family members if they are as well. You can point them to our YouTube channel or to the podcast. And let's see if we can't get a little bit more participation. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and hopefully this was beneficial to you. And I'm excited to see what everyone creates and deploys to Netlify. So hopefully we'll be back here pretty soon, probably within the next month or so, and we'll have something that's a little bit more Angular specific, most likely. But thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you later.